Hey guys, Sharpend here. In this video I'm going to show you how to take basic chords like this and turn them into randomized granular ambiances that sound something like this. In order to create this type of improvising ambiances, the first thing you want to do is to pick an instrument. You can use synths, you can use real instruments. I like to use a piano. And then you want to choose a chord. So I chose F major 7 add 2. It sounds like this. And then what you want to do is to just improvise notes from this chord only. So if you have a MIDI keyboard, feel free to just use it and improvise notes across multiple octaves. If you don't have a MIDI keyboard, you can just do that manually here in the piano roll, or you can just use a MIDI randomizer plugin if you have one. And here's what I improvised on my MIDI keyboard. So as you can hear, it's just the notes from that chord only, and they're just being played at like various rhythms and various patterns to create some diversity. And then you want to consolidate that. Here it is. So you have an audio track that's just you improvising one chord. And then I want to open up a few granulizers. I think that 3 is a good number. So let's open these. Wait, let's first send our audio into them. So let's do that. And now let's duplicate this one a couple more times. And let's set a note. Let's set it on a new pattern, like so. And now what you want to do is to just mess with the settings. So the first thing you want to do is to set it to loop. You want to make sure that the randomness is all the way up, so you get random positions between the grains. You don't want any attack time. You want the hole to be the longest as possible, so you get very long grains. And then once you mess with the grain spacing, you get a different results. So if you turn the grain spacing to the right, you get grains that take more time to appear one after the other. And if you set it to the left, you're going to get grains that appear on top of each other since they appear much faster. But we want something that isn't too dense. So we're going to set it to something like this, and now we're going to do something similar for the other two. So let's go into the second one. We're going to set the starting time to a different place to add some randomness. We're going to set it to loop, random on 1%, attack on 0, hold all the way. And we're going to set a different value for our grain spacing here. And now let's do something similar for this one. Again, starting time on a different place, loop, no attack, hold all the way. And on the grain spacing, let's do something different here. And then I like to pan 2 of these to the left and to the right. You can do a hot pan or just like percentage, but I think that it sounds great when it's panned all the way to the left and to the right, because you get small bursts from each ear. And then once you add the main one as well, you get a very nice constantly randomizing improv. And then once we add a few effects, it can get really interesting. So I've been really digging the new Valhalla supermassive. Here I've loaded up a chorus preset. You can find it here. And basically, since the delay is at 0 and the modulation is on 100% def, it adds a very nice sort of underwater feel. And then I've added a reverb patch. You can find it here, C-beams. This one has a long delay, and thanks to the wrap setting being fairly high and the density on 100%, it becomes very reverbed out really fast. And together they make a nice pairing. And for the final touch, I've added Flutterbird. I've used this just to modulate the pitch It's very subtle, it's on 10% on the pitch, and on the speed it's like 0.3 Hertz. I'm going to increase the pitch so you can hear the effect more noticeably. So as you can hear, it sort of creates an effect like it's like the pitch is floating. It goes down and then goes back up all the time. It adds a nice variation. And if you want, you can even use different notes. Usually lower notes will provide nicer results in my opinion. And so let's hear that for a second. And you can increase the mix if you want something less obvious and more ambiguous. I think I'm going to keep it at around here, and if you want you can use one of the left and right channels to even use an octave above instead. I'm going to just lower its volume by a bit since the octave above is usually very dominant, and then just go ahead and record it into your audio recorder. Just let it play out for a while, and make sure once you stop recording that you let the recorder record the fade out. It's going to be fairly long usually, but it has some interesting things for you to use, so make sure you record that, because then you can, for example, normalize this seemingly silent part and find a very nice burst of atmosphere. And then once you have it recorded, you can of course pitch shift it to create even more interesting results, and it's up to you from here. So yeah, just feel free to experiment with different instruments, different chords, even different presets or delays and reverbs, and you'll get wildly different results. And that's pretty much it. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what subject do you want me to cover up next time.